Hey, Doctor Who Week 2. I'm here. Let's talk about the Mind Robber. This is my first and actually only Patrick Troughton story I've seen. I've been meaning to get into more, specifically reconstructions, but I just haven't gotten the courage to do that yet. Not to mention, a lot of his available stuff on DVD, which is considered his best, is kind of expensive. I want the War Games. I need $30. Uh, and yes, internet, all that, and I'm not against it. Some stories I've done, I've had to use the internet, but I just have a better chance of actually paying attention and watching it. Plus, I have slow ass internet. But anyway, the Mind Robber. The Mind Robber is an interesting example to look at. Now, a joke I love to poke fun at with friends and all that is, above all else, the BBC, even today, tends to have a weaker budget, I feel. Again, CGI may look like crap, but again, on a budget, you gotta deal with it. Yeah, the effects on today's standards for the classic show look like crap, but again, this was groundbreaking stuff then, especially for the amount of money they managed to do. And that's the thing I love about Doctor Who. For the time, it manages to actually look like there's more money on screen than there actually is, which is a good thing for a show like this. The Mind Robber succeeds even more at that because of how it actually had to manage a few other things. For example, now, the way the story was conceived, it was actually going to be a 4-parter instead of a 5-parter. And the story before it, The Dominators, was actually going to be a 6-parter. What actually ended up happening was The Mind Robber got extended to 5 episodes because when they got done writing and almost planning out all of The Dominators, they literally had no material for a 6th episode. But they were tied to transmission, so they actually had to make do with the technology limitations and all that. But they had to actually take that episode and add it to The Mind Robber. This involved basically writing a small prologue. The first episode basically being a bottle show, taking place in the TARDIS and a white room that's obviously supposed to be a void in space, but thanks to the advancements of digital technology, we can see the crease, and that kind of bridges it. So yeah, it's obvious this is a white room, but again, they're trying to make their best, and you still get that ominous feeling you're supposed to. Moving on to how it works. The rest of the story. Now, here's the thing about this one that's actually really weird. They're not 25 part. They're not 25 minutes long either. They're all 20-minute long episodes. They actually had to shape stuff around for the Mind Robber, and also reuse props and other costumes from a bunch of other BBC productions. But the thing about this is it's supposed to be a strange nightmare. Easily today you could see them, if they had a big budget and tried to turn this into, say, a movie with weird costumes and insane effects and all that, they could try. But the thing is, I don't know how, but it produces a very unsettling feeling that works. Above all else, it manages to be a surreal piece. One of the more surreal things that the show's ever done. Especially since you feel the terror with all the characters. Jamie, Zoe, even the Doctor. Because they have no control over this universe. A benevolent force, who goes by the Master, but don't worry, it's not the Master we know. He's some comic strip writer, is controlling all of it. And that's the whole bit of the story. It's essentially just a giant mindfuck, and the characters have to try and get out. And it has an amazing atmosphere that carries it along. That helped by the fact that it's black and white, which I remember praising in Unearthly Child. But also, just the fact that, I don't know, just the way that everything else around them thinks it's normal. Our main characters think it's scary. and you're on their same side. It manages to be a very chilling, surreal piece, and I can't help but recommend this more than any stories I've covered. It's a very good example of the classic show, managing to be really good, tell a good story with a less than modest budget, because it actually had a little less money to go around than usual, even for a classic Who. Patrick Troughton and the companions give great performances, showing a little bit of fear but a little bit of ingenuity. I even like what they had to do with one actor, Fraser Hines, who plays Jamie, had the chicken pox, but again they were tied, so they had to basically make a small rewrite, which completely worked with the whole surreal mind trickery of the story, which involved turning the companion into a cardboard cutout, removing his face, and making it into a puzzle game where the Doctor screws it up and they replace him with an actor for an episode. That is a sign of brilliance. It shows that they're good at thinking on their feet, but also it helps add to the weirdness and unsettling feeling of the story. Not to mention the actor does a good job of playing the character. Would I say I prefer him? I don't know. I think he's playing up the same level, and Fraser Hines stayed on longer and is a legend now, so I can't even judge that. Another thing I like is the villain. It's a bit of a twist, so I'm sorry if I ended up spoiling this for anyone curious, but when you find out that this is being controlled by a former comic strip writer, the thing I really do like about it is the fact that he's not trying to be menacing or over-the-top evil. He's actually kind of cheery, at least until you find out his purpose and why he's here. And then he lets the evil and some of the insanity just bleed out of him slightly. And it's, I will be honest, gave me a chill. And all around, this story's good. It has a good story, has a good pace, manages to be creepy at parts, has great performances. Highly recommend it. I'll see you guys next time.